process. The learning of complex subject matter is most effective when it is an intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experience. Learning complex subject effectively requires an intentional approach where learners actively construct meaning from information and experience. This active engagement leads to a deeper understanding, better retention, and the ability to apply knowledge in new situations. It also fosters critical thinking skills and motivates learners to be more engaged in the learning process. In contrast, passive learners, where information is simply absorbed without active engagement, often results in superficial understanding and poor retention. Number two, goals of the learning process. The successful learner, over time and with support and instructional guidance, can create a meaningful, coherent representation of knowledge. To construct useful representation of knowledge and to acquire the thinking and learning strategies necessary for continued learning success across the lifespan. Students must generate and pursue personal relevant goals. Successful learners, with support and guidance, develop a deep understanding of knowledge by constructing meaningful and coherent representation. This requires settings and pursuing personal relevant goals, which can be short term or long term, and aligning with the learner's interests and aspiration. By developing these skills, learners become equipped for lifelong learning, enabling them to adapt and continue learning throughout their lives. Number three, construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Successful learners effectively link new information with existing knowledge, creating a network of interconnected ideas that makes learning more meaningful and easier to remember. This process goes beyond memorization, allowing learners to analyze, synthesize, and apply information in different contexts, leading to deeper comprehension and problem solving abilities. By connecting new learning to what they already know, learners build a bridge that enables them to transfer knowledge to new situations and become more effective learning. Number four, strategic thinking. The successful learners can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. Successful learners possess a diverse toolkit of thinking and reasoning strategies that they can apply to achieve complex learning goals. These strategies might include analyzing information, evaluating evidence, drawing inferences, solving problems, and communicating ideas effectively. By developing and utilizing these strategies, learners become more adaptable and resourceful, enabling them to tackle challenging learning tasks and achieve their goals. Number five, thinking about thinking. Higher strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operation facilitate creative and critical thinking. Higher level strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operation are crucial for fostering creative and critical thinking. These strategies involve actively choosing the most appropriate thinking tools for a given task, such as analyzing information, evaluating evidence, or generating new ideas. By monitoring their own thinking processes, learners can identify biases, refine their approaches, and ultimately produce more innovative and insightful solutions. This self-awareness and strategic thinking are essential for developing both creative and critical thinking skills. Number six, context of learning. Learning is influenced by environmental factors, culture, technology, and instructional practice. Learning is complex process deeply influenced by a wide range of factors. Environmental factors such as the physical learning space and social interactions play a significant role. Cultural norms and values shape how individuals learn and what they prioritize. Technology provides new tools and resources, transforming how knowledge is accessed and shared. Finally, instructional practices, including teaching methods, curriculum design, and assessment strategies, directly impact the learning experience. The interplay of these influences shape individual learning journeys and creates diverse learning environment.
Good day, everyone, especially to Coach Jude. My name is Ken Carson Alvaredo from BTLED HE1A, and my assigned topic is to discuss to you what is the motivational and affective factors. So, what is motivational and affective factors? These are crucial in influencing human behavior and performance. They encompasses that drives emotions and feeling that shape our action and decision. Both factors can impact on learning, decision making, and behavior. So, when we see motivational and affective factors, this is refers to the internal states that processes the emotion that drives human behavior and influences decision making. Motivation encompasses the desires, needs, and goals that lead individual to act in certain ways. It can be intrinsic, stemming from internal desire or interest, or extrinsic, driven by external reward or pressure. Affective factors, on the other hand, pertain to emotion and moods that shape an individual perception, attitude, and responses to various stimuli. Motivational factors can include elements such as achievement, affiliation, power, anatomy, and competence, which influence the direction, intensity, the persistence of behavior. For instance, a student may be motivated to excel academically by the desire for personal achievement or the pursuit of future career goals. When we say affective factors, it encompasses a broad range of emotions from joy and excitement to fear and sadness. This emotion can significantly impact decision making processes, memory retrieval, problem solving abilities, and interpersonal interaction. Now let's move on to motivational factors. We have the intrinsic motivation, driven by internal rewards such as satisfaction, enjoyment, or a sense of accomplishment. So when we say intrinsic, motivation arises from within, fluent by the genuine interest in the task itself. It's driven by feeling or of satisfaction, enjoyment, and accomplishments, making the effective learning into itself. So, example include pursuing a hobby, learning a new skills, or helping other where the inherent pleasure outweigh external insensitivity. Extrinsic motivation, driven by external rewards such as money, recognition, or praise. So when we say extrinsic motivation is driven by external reward on or incentives such as money, praise, or recognition. These rewards are often tangible or social in nature, acting as a motivator to engage in a task. Example include working for a salary, competing for an award, or seeking approval from others for achieving a goal. We have goal setting. Goal setting clears the challenging goals can increase motivation and focus. So when we say goal setting, this setting clear and challenging goals provides a sense of direction and purpose, increasing motivation. These goals act as target to strive for, giving individuals a sense of accomplishment upon achieving them. Well-defined goals help focus energy and effort, making it more likely to achieve desired outcome. Feedback. Receiving feedback on progress toward goals can enhance motivation and provide direction. So, when we are receiving a feedback on progress toward goals, provide valuable information and a sense of accomplishment. It helps individuals understand their strengths and weaknesses, providing guidance for improvement and further motivation. Constructive feedback can reinforce positive behaviors and offer areas for development and enhancing overall performance. Now let's move on to affective factors. We have the emotions. Emotion feelings that influence our thoughts, behaviors, and physiology's reaction. So when we say emotion, these are powerful feelings that can significantly impact our thoughts, behavior, or even our physical responses. For example, feeling anxious before a presentation might cause you to overthink, stumble over your words, and even experience physical symptoms like a racing heart. Mood. A mood is general state that persists over time. So when we say mood is a more general emotional states that longer lasting than fleeting emotion. For example, someone might be in a good mood for several days, feeling optimistic and energetic, while someone else might experience a prolonged period of low mood, feeling down and withdrawn. We have Thirdly, we have the stress, a state of mental or emotional strain resulting to challenging, demanding situation. So when we say stress is a state of mental or emotional strain caused by challenging or demanding situation. For instance, facing a tight deadlines at work can trigger stress, leading to feeling of overwhelm, anxiety, and difficulty concentrating. We have number 4, the self efficacy. Believe in one's ability to succeed in a particular task or situation. So, when we say self-efficacy is a belief on your own ability to succeed in a particular task or situation. Example, a student who believes in their ability to pass a difficult exam is more likely to study diligently and perform well, demonstrating the power of self-belief. Now let's move on behavior, impact of behavior. So we have motivation drives action. When we are motivated, we are more likely to engage in behaviors that lead to desired outcomes. So when we say that, when we are motivated to achieve a goal, we are more likely to take action and put in effort required to reach it. For example, a student who is motivated to get good grades might study harder, attend class regularly, and seek help when needed. Number 2, emotions influence decision. Our emotions can bias our choices, leading us to act impulsively or cautiously. So, our emotion can significantly impact our choices, sometimes leading us to act impulsively and cautiously. For instance, someone feeling angry might make a rash decision, while someone feeling anxious might avoid making any decision at all. Number 3, stress. Stress can impair performance. High levels of stress can negatively impact focus, concentration, and decision making. So, when we say that, it's a high level of stress can negatively affect our ability of focus, concentrate, and make sound decision. A person experience a high stress might struggle to complete tasks effectively, make mistakes and feel overwhelmed. We have self-efficacy boosts confidence. Belief in our abilities can lead to greater effort and persistence. Belief in our abilities can lead greater effort and persistence, increasingly our chance of success. For example, an athlete who believes in their ability to win a race is more likely to train harder and perform better on the race day.
Good day everyone, especially to Coach Jude. My name is Micah Fiji Arcelias from Study Hub 7. My assigned topic is all about the developmental and social factors. Developmental and social factors. Human development is a complex process shaped by a dynamic interplay of developmental and social factors. So, this report explores these factors, highlight their individual contributions and their intricate relationships in shaping an individual's physical, cognitive, emotional, and social well-being. So we're going to discuss about the developmental. Development. As individual develop, there are different opportunities and constraints for learning. So learning is most effective when different development with and across physical, intellectual, emotional, and social domains is taken into account. Developmental factors encompasses the three factors, which is the biological factors, cognitive factors, and the emotional factors. Process that drives human growth and change across the lifespan. Biological factors, these inherent factors lay the foundation for development. Genetics determine the predispositions to certain traits and conditions, influencing physical attributes, health, and even the temperament, brain development, and crucial aspect of biological development. So, biological development significantly impacts the cognitive abilities and emotional regulations. So, cognitive factors, cognitive development focus on mental process such as learning, memory, attention, problem solving, and language acquisition. So, these skills are progressively define the thoughtful life. So, influenced by both innate abilities and environmental stimulation. So, cognitive abilities are crucial for adapting to new situations, engaging in social interactions, and also achieving personal goals. So, lastly, we have the emotional factors or emotional developments. So, in emotional development, it involves the understanding, expressing, and managing emotional abilities. To regulate emotion is essential for healthy relationships and also overall well-being. So in early childhood, experiences is significantly shape emotional development and influencing the self-esteem, resilience, and also the capacity of empathy. So now I will going to discuss to you about the social factors. Social factors is represent the environmental influences that shape development. These factors is interact dynamic with developmental processes, often by applying or mitigating their effects. So first, we have the family dynamics. So the family is the unit serve as the primary socialization agents, influencing a child's values, beliefs, and behaviors. So parenting styles and sibling relationships with the overall family environment is significantly impact emotional security, self-esteem, and lastly, social skills. So peer relationships is interactions with peer contribute significantly to the social development. So peer groups provides opportunities for learning social norms, developing communication skills, and also the navigating social hierarchies. So peer influence can be both positive and negative. So affecting academic performance, self-esteem, and also the risk-taking behaviors. Third, we have the cultural complex. Cultural shapes an individual's worldviews, values, and behaviors. Cultural norms and expectations influence various aspects of development, So this include the communication, style, social roles, and also the attitudes towards to education and achievement. So lastly, we have the social economic status is encompasses the economic resources, social standing, and access to opportunities or lower. CSC is when the associated with the limited access is to quality healthcare, education, and nutrition. So its potential impacting the physical and cognitive development. Understanding the interplay of developmental and social factors is crucial for promoting healthy human development. So, interventions aimed at improving developmental and outcomes must consider the complex interplay of these factors. So, addressing both individual needs and environmental influence. So, future research should continue to explore the intricate relationships between these factors to inform effective strategies for supporting the individuals across the lifespans.
So in our last video, we tackle about the periods of human development from prenatal to infancy, to childhood to adolescence, to adulthood to late adulthood. Each stage presents unique challenges and opportunities. By recognizing this developmental milestone, we can better support individuals and communities in achieving their full potential. So now, I'm going to discuss with you about the individual differences in learning. Good day, so now I will tackle about the individual differences in learning. We all learn in different ways, at different paces, and with different strengths. Recognizing and understanding these differences is essential for educators and learners alike. We are born with unique talents and abilities. Some of us are naturally drawn to math, others to art, and others to language. This inherent difference shapes our learning paths. Think about your own strengths and weaknesses. What comes easily to you? What do you find more challenging? These are examples of individual differences at play. Beyond our innate abilities, we also develop preferences for how we learn. Some prefer visual learning, others auditory, and others kinesthetic. These preferences are shaped by our experiences, our environment, and our social interactions. But it's important to remember that preferences don't always align with what's most effective for learning. As educators, our role is to help students explore their learning preferences and identify strategies that work best to them. This might involve tailoring instruction, providing diverse learning materials, and encouraging students to experiment with different approaches. Learning doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's influenced by the curriculum, the classroom environment, and the interaction between learners and teachers. We need to consider how these factors interact with individual differences to create the most effective learning experience. By acknowledging and adapting to individual differences, we can create a learning environment that is inclusive, engaging, and supportive for all students. Remember, every learner is unique, and recognizing those differences is a key to unlocking their full potential. Let's work together to create classrooms where individual differences are celebrated and utilized to foster a love of learning. Now, we're going to explore the connection between learning and diversity. We live in a world filled with different language, cultures, and backgrounds. Recognizing and valuing this diversity is crucial for creating effective learning environments. While the fundamental principles of learning, motivation, and effective instruction apply to everyone, The way these principles are applied needs to be sensitive to individual differences. Factors like language, ethnicity, race, beliefs, and socioeconomic status can all influence how learners engage with learning materials and experiences. Imagine a classroom where students feel seen, heard, and respected for their unique backgrounds. When learners feel valued for their differences, their motivation and achievement levels increase. They feel empowered to participate, contribute, and reach their full potential. To create inclusive learning environments, we need to be mindful of diversity in our teaching practices. This means incorporating different learning styles, using cultural relevant materials, and fostering a sense of belonging for all students. Diversity isn't just about fairness, it's about enriching the learning experience for everyone. When students from different backgrounds interact and learn from each other, they develop a deeper understanding of the world and gain valuable perspective. By embracing diversity, we create a more equitable and enriching learning experience for all. Let's work together to build a classroom where every learner feels valued, respected, and empowered to succeed. Now, we're going to talk about the crucial role of standard and assessment in the learning process. These elements are not just about measuring progress. They are integral to guiding, motivating, and supporting learners to their educational journey. Imagine a race where the finish line is unclear and the runners have no idea what they are aiming for. That's what learning can feel like without a clear standard. Setting appropriately high and challenging standards provides a clear target for learners, motivating them to strive for excellence and push their boundaries. Assessment acts as a compass, providing valuable information to both learners and teachers at every stage of the learning process. It helps us understand where learners are, what they have mastered, and where they need additional support. This information is crucial for tailoring instruction and providing personalized guidance. Before embarking on a journey, it's essential to understand our starting point. Diagnostic assessment helps us identify learners' cognitive strengths and weaknesses, as well as their current knowledge and skills. This information allows us to select instructional materials and strategies that are optimally challenging and engaging for each learner. As learners progress, ongoing assessment provides valuable feedback on their understanding of the material. This feedback helps learners identify areas where they need to focus their effort and allows teachers to provide their instruction to meet individual needs. Standardized assessment provides a snapshot of achievement levels, allowing us to compare progress within and across individuals. Performance assessments offer another valuable perspective, showcasing learners' ability to apply their knowledge and skills in real-world situations. Encouraging self-assessment empowers learners to take ownership of the learning journey. It helps them develop self-appraisal skills, enhance their motivation, and become more self-directed learners. Standards and assessment are essential tools for guiding, motivating, and supporting learners on their educational journey. By embracing these elements, we create a learning environment that is both challenging and supportive, empowering learners to reach their full potential.
Everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Alec Micaela Itario, the fifth reporter of Stadium 7. But before we move on to my topic, let's quickly recap what Miss Sigli Ignacio, or the fourth reporter, shared with us. The fourth reporter highlighted the importance of recognizing individual differences in learning. First, they reminded us that each learner has their own unique way of learning, influenced by their experiences and background. This means the teachers need to be flexible and adapt their teaching to meet the needs of each student. Second, the fourth reporter emphasized the importance of diversity in the classroom. We need to acknowledge and celebrate the different languages, cultures, and the backgrounds of our students. When we do this, students feel valued, respected, and more motivated to learn. And finally, the fourth reporter talked about the importance of standards and assessment. Setting high standards and using different types of assessment helps us to track student progress and make sure that everyone is learning effectively. So, as we move forward, remember that every student is unique and deserve to be taught in a way that meets their individual needs. Let's keep this in mind as we explore my topic, which is legal and policy frameworks and learner-centered teaching. So, under the legal and policy frameworks and learner-centered teaching, we have the Republic Act number 10533.
Republic Act number 10533, entitled An Act Enhancing the Philippine Basic Education System by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education, appropriating funds therefore and other purposes, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, approved on May 15, 2013, and which took effect on July 8, 2013. The Department of Education, or DepEd, the Commission on Higher Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, hereby issue the following rules and regulations to implement the provisions on the Act.
So the Republic Act number 10533, also known as Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 or the K-12 law. The K-12 law is a big deal because it's trying to make sure that all Filipino kids have a chance to get a good education and be successful in their lives. It's a big change and it's all about making education better for everyone. So this law was approved on May 15, 2013 and it took effect on July 8, 2013. The Department of Education, or DepEd, is in charge of making sure the law is followed. The law also includes rules for how teachers should be trained and how the curriculum should be designed.
Section 1, Short Title. This Act shall be known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013.
This section simply states the official name of the law, Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013.
Section 2, Declaration of Policy. The state shall create a functional basic education system that will develop productive and responsible citizens equipped with the essential competencies, skills, and values for both lifelong learning and employment.
So this section outlines the law's overall goal to create a functional basic education system that produces productive and responsible citizens. In order to achieve this, the state shall
Give every student an opportunity to receive quality education that is globally competitive based on a pedagogically sound curriculum that is at par with international standards.
So the goal is to provide every student with a quality education that meets the international standards.
Broaden the goals of high school education for college preparation, vocational and technical career opportunities, as well as creative arts, sports, and entrepreneurial employment in a rapidly changing and increasingly globalized environment.
So the high school education should prepare students for college, vocational careers, creative arts, sports, and entrepreneurship. And
Make education learner-oriented and responsive to the needs, cognitive and cultural capacity, the circumstances and diversity of learners, schools and community through the appropriate languages of teaching and learning.
so education should be learner-centered and responsive to the needs of diverse students and communities.
Section 3. Basic Education. Basic education is intended to meet basic learning needs, which provides the foundation on which subsequent learning can be based. It encompasses kindergarten, elementary and secondary education, as well as alternative learning system for out-of-school learners.
This section defines the basic education as the foundation of all future learning. It includes kindergarten, elementary, secondary education, as well as alternative learning systems for out-of-school learners.
Section 4. Enhanced Basic Education Program. The Enhanced Basic Education Program encompasses at least 1 year of kindergarten education, 6 years of elementary education, and 6 years of secondary education in that sequence. The secondary education includes 4 years of junior high school and 2 years of senior high school education.
This section outlines the structure of K-12 program. Kindergarten, 1 year of preparatory education. Elementary, 6 years of primary education. Secondary, 6 years of secondary education, split into 4 years of junior high school and 2 years of senior high school. This section also mentions the use of learner's mother tongue as the learning resource in the early years. In summary, the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, or the K-12 law, aims to improve the quality of education in the Philippines by extending the basic education cycle to 12 years, enhancing the curriculum, making the education more learner-centered and responsive to the needs of diverse students and communities. So these are the K-12 framework. The K-12 framework is designed to equip students with the knowledge, skills, and values they need to thrive in the 21st century. It aims to create a more equitable and effective education system that prepares students for a successful future. So the K-12 law and the K-12 framework are all about putting students first. They want to make sure that every kid gets a good education that helps them learn and grow. This means focusing on what each student needs and making sure they're actively involved in their learning. It's like building a school where kids are at the center of everything, and teachers are there to support them on their learning journey. So we explored a lot of ground in this video, from the inner workings of the mind to social and legal factors that influence learning. Let's recap what we've learned. First, we saw how learning is a dynamic process of constructing meaning, driven by goal setting, strategic thinking, and metacognition. Second, we recognize the importance of motivation and positive emotions in driving effort and engagement. Third, we acknowledge the influence of development and social interactions on learning emphasizing the needs of inclusive and supportive environments. Fourth, we highlighted the importance of embracing individual differences, recognizing the unique strengths and learning styles of each student. And finally, we discussed the legal and policy frameworks, specifically the K-12 law, which emphasizes learners-centered teaching and aims to create a more equitable and effective education system. So as we've seen, there's no single magic formula for successful learning. It's about understanding the complexities of the learner, creating the supportive environments, and using effective teaching practices. Let's all work together to create a learning experience that empowers every student to reach their full potentials. We hope that this presentation has given you some valuable insights into the world of learning. Remember, education is a journey, and we're all in this together. So, that's all in this video. Thank you for watching.